Hi there, Dave Markham here for the Reporter. You know, the Pro Brockport group did a press release on Thursday, September 15th, 2011, because they wanted to clarify some misleading information. The first thing they say in the press release is the actual operating budget for the Brockport Fire Department is $571,000. That's $571,000. There have been various numbers thrown around, 713, 739, 650, and so forth. It's actually 571,000. Now that's the operating budget without the equipment reserve. Some people throw the equipment reserve fund in there, which brings it up to over 700,000, but that's not the operating budget. The operating budget is 571,000. And also there's been misleading information about the property tax cap. Essentially, it doesn't apply to a fire district. Fire districts can form their budget and tax the taxpayers who are in that fire district for whatever they want to tax them for. So there is, by state statute, some limit on what fire districts can tax, but it's extremely high, and according to the New York State Committee on Efficiency and Effectiveness, no fire district in New York State has ever reached that cap. That's because it's so high. There are estimates that the Pro Brockport staff did that say in the first year of operation, the fire district actually could levy a tax up to $881,000, which is 50% higher than the 571. But that 881 would not include things like workman's comp and liability, unemployment insurance, capital reserve funds, and a number of other items. Usually labor costs, those larger items are not included in the cap they have. So they actually could tax the participants in the fire district for a budget far beyond $881,000. But at any rate, the current operating budget of the fire protection districts that the village of Brockport has with the town of Clarkson and town of Sweden is $571,000. Other people have been telling you other things, but that's just incorrect. So, you know, a lot of times people pick up factoids or they make sound bites and, you know, to mislead people. So stick with Pro Brockport. They have the facts. And here on the Brockporter, I don't have any particular agenda. I just believe in the truth. The truth is my agenda. And I'm not against the fire district if actually that would be a good deal for the village of Brockport residents and the residents of the town in Sweden. But it's not a good deal. It's a terrible idea. And that's not just Dave Markham's idea. I mean, I've got facts and figures and studies that have been done. So, you know, the bully politics that have been going on where the village board admits, they admit it. They think the fire district is a bad deal for the citizens of Brockport, but they feel they have no choice. To quote them, their hand has been forced by the threats of Clarkson and Sweden to pull out and form their own fire district, or to go to Hamlin on the part of Clarkson, or go to Bergen on the part of Sweden. And that's a sad comment on our village government, that the village trustees are not really looking out for the interest of their constituents. Instead, they've allowed themselves to be bullied and pushed around by Paul Kimball in Clarkson and Milner in Sweden. You know, I like the trustees. They're nice people, but they're incompetent. They're in over their head. They don't know what they're doing, unfortunately. And, you know, the village taxpayers are going to get screwed. So the actual operating budget of the fire department is $571,000. That's a lot different than the 700 and something that they have been quoting. And you know, if a fire district is formed, they can soak you. They're going to fleece your pocketbook. You're giving the fox access to the hen house. You know, they'll have the combination to the safe and the cash to the key drawer, or the keys to the cash drawer, and they'll do whatever they want to do. So at any rate, I'm just trying to set the record straight. I'm very grateful to Pro Brockport for accessing some professional expertise and competence who actually looked into this issue and was able to obtain this information. So I had heard that Paul Kimball was very upset with Evelyn Dow, the editor of the Suburban News, because she published the Pro Brockport ad, which said that the budget was $571,000, and he claims that's fraudulent and blah, blah, blah. And Evelyn Dow gave Paul the name of the person at Pro Brockport that placed the order for the ad, and Paul called that person and tried to bully him into retracting, and you know, it's all nonsense. And Paul's bullying didn't work. I mean, Pro Brockport's not scared of Paul Kimball. So, you know, we're just setting the record straight. You know, Pro Brockport was right all along, and Paul needs to clean up his act and be straight with people. It's as simple as that. And if you want the real information, continue to visit the Pro Brockport website, probrockport.org, who are looking out for you. Or here on the Brockporter. I'll give you the straight scoop. You know, I'm not afraid or too proud to say if I'm wrong. So if you think I'm wrong, leave me a comment. A few people have over the last week, and I appreciate their comments and their honesty. Ken Kime actually came out of his anonymity and actually said who he was, and I have a lot of respect for Mr. Kime. He's devoted many years to the Brockport Fire Department, and I really appreciate his service. Sincerely, Mr. Kime, thank you. Unfortunately, he's been duped into believing this nonsense that Paul Kimball and Jack Milner have been promoting, and Chief Henry's gotten in line now. He's supporting the fire district, and you know, it's crazy. You know, I go around town, I talk to people, and they say they're really against the fire district, but they're afraid to speak out, thinking that there'll be retaliation from the Brockport Fire Department, that they'd be slow to come in response to a 9/11 request for assistance, or if they got there, they wouldn't give their best effort. I don't think that's true at all, and I told Mr. Kime that. But people are saying that. I mean, I've heard that on a number of occasions from a number of people. And this politics of intimidation and fear that Kimball's been rolling out, I think has a very toxic, destructive impact and influence on our community. You know, personally, I think it's shameful. That's not the way we ought to be conducting ourselves in a democracy, particularly in the greater Brockport community. If as citizens we cannot come out and have honest discussions about what's in our mutual welfare, God help us. You know what I'm saying? I don't have any enemies. I don't live in fear of any person. I don't think the Brockport Fire Department would let my house burn down. I don't think that for a minute. I got nothing but excellent service, and I have nothing but the highest respect for them. For our politicians, though, they need to step up and clean up their act. You know, they ran and swore to be of service to their constituents. Instead, they're playing all these political games. Unfortunately, you don't get to do much about it. You know, it disgusts me. This year, there are 3 seats open in the town of Sweden Town Council. They're all running with no opposition. Nobody has the guts to stand up and provide the voters with a choice. The same is true in the town of Clarkson. The Sweden Republican committees and the Clarkson Republican Committee handpick your representatives just for you. Isn't that nice of them? Yeah. Well, you know, the fact of the matter is you let them do it. So, you know, you get what you pay for. You know, if you're not willing to stand up on your principles and, you know, you don't get involved in these issues, you know, you're going to pay. And you let people run run rampant. They can do whatever they want to do. And I'll tell you, they're not looking out for your best interests. Look what they did to the Brockport Volunteer Ambulance Corps for no good reason. Changed the contracts to a profit-making company in Rochester Monroe Ambulance. Didn't cost them a dime. Brockport Volunteer Ambulance Corps did not cost them a dime. All the budget for the Brockport Volunteer Ambulance Corps came from the service they provided with third-party reimbursement. And, you know, at the town hearings, the people in the town of Sweden and the town of Clarkson said they had no criticism or complaint at all about the service. The service they'd gotten from the Brockport Volunteer Ambulance Corps was excellent. And it was. It was your neighbors who really care in their heart about you and your family, that would bend over backwards to do anything for you. And they trashed them. And I felt bad. You know, I've talked to a number of those people. There was over 40 volunteers in the Brockport Ambulance Corps, and a few paid people whose heart was really into providing that kind of emergency medical service to Brockport. What'd your politicians do? They trashed them. You know, it doesn't exist after several decades of dedicated service. And when I stood in the town of Sweden hearing, and I said, I don't understand why you people are doing it. Miss Connors, Mr. Milner, Mr. Myers, Rebecca Donahue, it makes no sense. It's not costing you any money. You admit it's excellent service. Why would you do this to our dedicated volunteers and to our community? And then I said, you must have a hidden agenda. And Mr. Miller muttered, oh, we don't have a hidden agenda. We don't have any hidden agenda. Well, why'd you do it then? And Mr. Milner and Mr. Kimball, to this day, have never given an explanation for that. Well, I'll tell you why. They're doing that because they want to destroy the village of Brockport. And they will sacrifice people in the Brockport Fire Department to achieve their political ends. And why people in the Brockport Fire Department are supporting these guys, I find kind of mystifying. I know they want the keys to the cash drawer. They want the combination to the state. But you really believe that the politicians on the town councils in Sweden and Clarkson have your best interests at heart? Look at what happened to your comrades in the ambulance corps. It's a travesty. So stick with pro-Brockport. You know, they will be leading the way on this. My understanding is that there's going to be a vote in a special election on November 29th. It's not going to be at the general election. And each of the municipalities will have their own election, and any one of them can vote it down. That's what I've been told to this point. So if Sweden votes it down, if Clarkson votes it down, if Brockport votes it down, then it's not going to fly. Mr. Kimball says that if that happens, he's going to Hamlin. Well, good luck, all of you people that live in the north side of Clarkson. You know, your tax rates are going to go up for your fire protection at least twice. Hamlin's tax rate already is $1.59 for every 10,000. In Brockport, it's 80 cents. Right? So it's already twice that. And if they have to take on the town of Clarkson, it's going to go up even higher. They're going to have to buy additional equipment and all that kind of stuff. Same way in Bergen. You good people in Sweden Village, you really want your fire response to come from Bergen. Give me a break. Milner's bailing. You know, he's leaving, along with Myers. Right? And so Patty Connors is going to be taken over as the Sweden supervisor. And I can't believe that they really want their fire protection to come from Bergen. At probably 2 or 3 times the cost they're getting for. So this whole thing is screwy. You can't believe a word they say. They haven't been honest with people. That's why nobody showed up at the public hearing. Why would you go out for that kind of nonsense? They had no information that could compare the cost of continuing with a fire protection district and what it would cost with a fire district, which is really the germane question, isn't it? No information whatsoever. So they haven't been straight with people. But I am. Yeah. And pro-Brockport is. So hang in there, and thanks for listening. And I enjoyed talking with you. And have a good day. I really want the best for everyone. You know, my goal in life is to get to the point in the world where everybody loves everybody all the time. Yeah, we make small progress, but we'll get there sooner or later. God's told me. Peace.